finally bought Elden Ring, loaded in, and already died 10 times to the first boss? Good news! That's normal! Elden Ring is intentionally vague and hard, and this can lead to repeated deaths. But in this video, you'll learn all the tips you need that will stop you from dying. You'll also learn the best classes, weapons that trivialize all the early game bosses, and where to go to become overpowered. Grab a snack, get comfy, let's dive in. To become powerful in Elden Ring, you first need to choose the right character class. 3 of them are perfect for beginners and make you feel strong. The first one is the Samurai. I tested every class in the game, and Samurai has the best overall loadout. Starting at level 9 with 15 Dexterity and 12 Strength, the Samurai has the numbers for a comfortable and quick-hitting melee build. The Samurai also has the following gear, as it comes with an Uchigatana and a longbow. Meanwhile, other classes begin the game holding a wooden spoon and a dream while dressed in Salvation Army clothes. The Samurai at least comes with something stylish. The Uchigatana alone can carry you far into the game because the bleed status it comes with is overpowered. Bleed works by building up a hidden status meter on enemies. Once full, it chunks a massive percentage of their HP in an instant. Longbow gives you one of the most solid ranged options in the game since you can snipe enemies with it. The second class is Vagabond. Like the Samurai, the Vagabond class also starts with decent stats and equipment. It also starts at level 9 with 15 Vigor, but the crucial difference is the more or less even distribution between strength and dexterity, which respectively sit at 14 and 13. The Vagabond comes equipped with a longsword, halberd, heater shield, and a full Vagabond knight set. Out of all the classes in Elden Ring, the Vagabond has the most protective shield, as it blocks 100% of physical damage. For many beginners, having a shield and blocking attacks is a comfortable approach to Elden Ring's combat. The third, for mages, is the Astrologer. It comes out of the tutorial cave ready to sling some spells with 15 mind and 16 intelligence. With that said, the 9 vigor is low, but the ranged spells make up for that. In terms of gear, the Astrologer comes with the Astrologer's staff, a short sword, scripture, wooden shield, and the Astrologer's set armor. The class's bread and butter, the Glintstone Pebble and Glintstone Arc spells are also included, and its strength comes from these 2 spells. Glintstone Pebble is a spammable ranged attack, and the Glintstone Arc lets you deal with groups of enemies. If you prefer playing at a safe range as a beginner, then the Astrologer with its spells is the best option. The map starts blank, or in Elden Ring's case, poop brown, which makes it look like your character forgot their glasses. To reveal map fragments, look for little obelisk icons on the unexplored map. Those markers indicate map pillar locations. Once you grab the fragment, the entire regional map becomes visible. And you might want to do this early, because exploring without the map is like trying to find a needle in a haystack while blindfolded in a field at night with enemies. Also, the map is huge, bigger than you think. You might think, surely this is the whole game. You'll be zooming out the map again like a cursed PowerPoint presentation. To aid you in your exploration, make sure to grab the Sites of Grace. They also function as fast travel points, apart from being checkpoints to revive after you die to some stray dogs. If you feel lost on where to go, the developers designed the Sites of Grace to display a golden trail both in-game and on the map screen. These golden trails will lead you to the main objective or main quest, but following them also sometimes leads to more Sites of Grace, particularly in Limgrave and the Liurnia of the Lakes starting areas. Don't wander blind through the open world. It's dangerous. The game doesn't display enemy difficulty, so start by heading to areas where you won't be killed in 2 hits and where you can level up. For levels 1 to 15, stay in West Limgrave, or the starting area. As you grow stronger into levels 10 to 20, start venturing into East Limgrave. Try your hand at the Weeping Peninsula in the south at levels 20 to 30. Levels 30 to 40 are when you should start besieging Stormvale Castle. Come levels 40 to 50, we recommend diving into Liurnia of the Lakes. And finally, get ready to get dirty in Caelid at levels 60 to 70. Past those levels, you're ready for the mid-game area, which is the Altus Plateau, and can no longer be considered a beginner after all those deaths. Okay, we've figured out the map. It's time we walk out and immediately meet the Tree Sentinel, the first boss. We are where we're supposed to be, so this fight should be a cakewalk. We hit him, and then he wipes us like a mop, again and again and again. Last time I checked, the Tree Sentinel had killed Elden Ring players 277 million times. At this rate, we're going to add 1 million more deaths single-handedly, so we need to do something about this bully. Damage is the first thing we lacked, And in Elden Ring, you need better weapons for better damage. Good news, we don't need to defeat the Tree Sentinel for that. We can go around him and head over to grab these weapons. There are 5 weapons that you can obtain at the start of the game, and each one will give you an advantage depending on the class you picked. My personal favorite, the Bloodhound's Fang. You get it from Bloodhound Knight Dariwyl in Limgrave. To get to him, start at the Gatefront Ruins again, head southeast, cross the ridge, then follow the road south. Grab the Agheel Lake South Grace if you haven't already, then keep following the road uphill to the south. You'll end up in the Forlorn Hound Everjail, enter it, and defeat Dariwyl. He takes a lot of damage from Ashes of War, like the Uchigatana's Unsheath. If not, then he's still an easy fight. After defeating Dariwyl, you'll get his weapon, the Bloodhound's Fang. It's a weapon that comes with innate bleed and a powerful Ash of War or weapon skill. If you prefer a heavier hitter, then I recommend going with another fan favorite, the Claymore. You'll find this greatsword in Castle Morn on the Weeping Peninsula. Travel south from Limgrave until you reach the peninsula, then enter Castle Morn at the southern end. From the courtyard, stick to the right wall and run past the burning corpses until you see an entrance to the building in the north. Once in the building, look to the left for a chest. You'll find the Claymore in that very chest within the castle. This greatsword comes with the Lion's Claw Ash of War, and it can stun lock bosses again and again. Going back to something more subtle, a dagger might be preferable, the Reduvia. You can obtain this crimson baby by defeating the NPC invader Bloody Finger Neregus. To trigger this encounter, go to Murkwater Cave in Limgrave. You'll find the cave along the river north of Agheel Lake. As you approach the cave entrance, Neregus will invade your world. You'll also receive help from a friendly NPC during the fight, making it more manageable. Once you defeat him, he drops the Reduvia. It's a weapon that also comes with innate bleed, but the Ash of War is a range bleed attack. Bleed weapons are all the rage in the early game, and the next weapon proves that. The Uchigatana. If you picked the Samurai, then you don't need to work for this one, though having a second Uchigatana does look cooler. If you start with any other class, you'll find this katana in Limgrave inside the Death-Touched Catacombs. From the Saints Bridge Site of Grace, head northwest along the cliffs until you find the entrance to the catacombs. This dungeon can get confusing, so follow the video to know its exact location. Once you get it, you'll want to spam its Ash of War, Unsheath, as it deals serious damage on top of the weapon having an innate bleed stat. Now, for mages, the Meteorite Staff is the only overpowered early game weapon, and it requires a couple of level ups from the Astrologer to reach the 18 intelligence requirement. To get it, you need to head to Caelid, but don't worry, you won't be fighting anything but your fear. Starting in Limgrave, head to the Dragonburnt Ruins and enter the cellar. Inside that cellar, there's a chest. Open it, and the smoke will take you to Celia Crystal Tunnel in Caelid. Once you're in this godforsaken area, jump down as you see in the video and head to the left tunnel. Keep going until you reach the Site of Grace. Touch the Grace and head outside. Welcome to Hell. I mean, Caelid. Once you're outside, head southwest until you get to the ruins near the edge of the rotting swamp. Search these ruins and look for the room with the 3 enemy flowers and a broken wall with loot. That loot is the Meteorite Staff. Grab it and try to run away before you get in trouble, then teleport back to safety. We got our weapon, but when we hit the enemies again, it still barely does any damage. We forgot to upgrade them. Most of your early damage comes from weapon upgrades. Your +3 weapon matters more than putting 3 points into dexterity, for example. You can upgrade your weapons using smithing stones and somber smithing stones. Regular weapons use normal smithing stones. Special or unique weapons use somber stones. Somber weapons are beginner friendly because they require 1 stone per upgrade level compared to the 12 separate minerals harvested from Satan's geology collection. Upgrade your weapon as often as you can and when you find smithing stones. You can find smithing stones at the Limgrave tunnels. You'll then find Limgrave tunnels at the northern end of Agheel Lake in Limgrave. Inside the cave walls are glowing ore deposits you can loot for smithing stones 1. You'll also find a few smithing stones 2 deeper inside. Morn Tunnel, south of Limgrave in the Weeping Peninsula, is another excellent early mine. This one gives more smithing stones 1 and 2. You can also buy smithing stones from these 2 merchants on the map. You can access somber smithing stones in the Limgrave tunnels. There's a hidden somber smithing stone 1 here near the elevator leading toward the boss. You can drop onto ledges beside the lift to reach it. Another one is near a chair south of this bridge in Limgrave. The giant blacksmith Iji in northwest Liurnia sells somber smithing stones 1 through 4. Once you have the stones, upgrade your weapon of choice at an anvil or the depressed blacksmith in the Round Table Hold. A well-upgraded mediocre weapon is better than an unupgraded legendary weapon. Farming runes for upgrades or leveling up, you can slay the giant sleeping dragon, Elden Ring's Elder Dragon Grail in Caelid. With a bleed weapon, such as those we mentioned before, you can get around 50,000 runes. That's like winning the lottery as a baby. However, you can get a lot more than 50,000 runes from this method. We have a full guide on this, so feel free to check it if you're short on runes. Once you have the runes you need, it's best to invest them well. There is a difficulty slider. It's called Vigor. We've picked our class, weapons, and even locations, but something seems to be missing. That's right, stats. There's a trick to them that newbies need to know. You might ignore Vigor because damage numbers go up when I level Strength. That's a big mistake. Prioritize leveling up your Vigor. You should also prioritize early game survivability more than tiny damage increases. A good beginner goal is 20 Vigor early while in Limgrave, before focusing on damage stats like Dexterity, Strength, Faith, Intelligence, and Arcane. Only put points in those damage stats as needed for weapon requirements. At 20 Vigor, you have 652 HP based on the game's scaling, since each point gives plus 28 HP per level. Aim to reach 40 Vigor or 1,450 HP once you start getting deeper into Liurnia or Caelid, then even higher later if needed, going up to a soft cap of 60. Past that soft cap, you get diminishing returns, where you only get plus 3 to plus 6 HP per point, so it's best to keep Vigor around 50 or 60 as a long-term goal. Time for revenge against the Tree Sentinel. All our training and leveling has prepared us for our proper revenge rematch against Goldmember over here at the starting area. It's time to face him again. And it's another crushing defeat. Our HP and damage can only carry us so far. Our Vigor might be high, but it looks like our flasks don't heal enough. With that, it's time to upgrade them. After that humiliating rematch, I realized that the Sacred Flask is my best friend in Elden Ring. We can improve it in two ways: Golden Seeds, which increase the number of flask uses, Sacred Tears, which increase how much each flask heals. You can find golden seeds near tiny glowing golden trees scattered across the lands between, though their icons don't appear on the map. So you have to keep your eyes peeled during exploration. You'll find sacred tears inside churches, and churches tend to appear as rectangular structures once you uncover the map, so uncovering the map is crucial to your survival. Churches in Elden Ring are more reliable than hospitals, offer a site of grace, and without asking for a copay. Early game priority should include flask upgrades because surviving longer means more mistakes allowed, which translates to less screaming at the screen during a hard boss fight. Weapon stat scaling still matters after you factor in HP and weapon upgrades. Weapons scale with stats. You'll see letters S, A, B, C, D, E on the weapon's number screen right beside the stat. A higher letter means better scaling. Hence, a dexterity weapon gets more damage from dexterity, a strength weapon gets more damage from strength, and so on. Once you've pumped up your vigor by 20 while still in Limgrave, try pumping up the damage stat of your choice depending on the playstyle you want. Physical melee playstyles favor either strength for slow weapons or dexterity for faster weapons. Magic or cleric builds rely either on intelligence or faith. Some of the more specialized builds also rely on a stat called Arcane, but you don't have to worry about that for now, as a beginner. You can also change a weapon scaling from Blacksmith Hugh or at a Site of Grace. To do it, rest at a Site of Grace or talk to Blacksmith Hugh and open the Ashes of War menu. Select your weapon, then equip an Ash of War. After you apply it, the game will let you choose an affinity, which is what changes the weapon's scaling. For example, you can pick Heavy for strength scaling, Keen for dexterity, Quality for both, or other options like Magic for intelligence, Flame Art for faith, Sacred for faith, or Occult for arcane, depending on what wet blades you found throughout the game. These affinities alter how your weapon scales with your stats, and can also change damage types. We've already distributed our stats, obtained and upgraded our weapons, but we forgot about the Talismans. Talismans are the Elden Ring version of rings or accessories. They provide passive bonuses like more stamina, more HP, stronger attacks, faster casting, better equip load, etc. You start with one slot and unlock more talisman slots by defeating certain major bosses, up to a total of 4 talisman slots. Margit gives the second one. Later main story bosses add more, which I'll leave unspoiled so the progression feels earned. Now, a strong talisman setup can transform your build. More talismans means more passive power boosts. Consider it a compelling reason to stop avoiding Margit and finish the job. And if he's still giving you trouble, we've got your back. Pick the right talismans. With our only talisman slot at this level, I recommend wearing the Green Turtle Talisman. This one boosts our stamina regeneration, which, as you might have noticed by now, can be the difference between life and death. You can find it in Limgrave at Summon Water Village. Head into the village and look for a small, ruined building with a cellar entrance. Inside, there's a fog gate blocked by an imp statue. Use a stone sword key, obtainable from merchants, to open it. Go down into the basement, and you'll find the talisman on a corpse in the room below. This talisman boosts stamina recovery speed, which helps in our build, letting us perform more dodging, blocking, sprinting, and chaining attacks. Use Ashes of War all the time. Ashes of War are weapon skills, and some of them are busted strong. As a new player, it's easy to forget they even exist because you're too busy panic rolling into walls. Feel free to use your best moves right away. Spend your FP. Ash of War skills can launch projectiles, stagger bosses, buff weapons, make you untouchable, or melt enemies with little effort. The Uchigatana Unsheath skill alone can obliterate early enemies. You will need to experiment upon getting new weapons. Some come with specific or exclusive Ashes of War. Ashes of War are one of the biggest reasons Elden Ring gives players so much freedom and customization. If you need more Ashes of War, look for those teardrop scarabs or rolling beetles all over the map, or talk to this shady guy named Bernal east of the Stormhill Shack Site of Grace in Limgrave. He'll hook you up with some strong stuff. Elden Ring's weight mechanic can ruin beginners time and time again. To avoid this noob trap, open your equipment screen and check your equip load on the right side of the state sheet. There are different role categories: light load, medium load, heavy load, and overloaded. The last one, overloaded, means your character gave up with movement and can only walk. If you're at heavy load, your dodge roll becomes slow and punishing. We call this fat rolling, and it feels like your character swallowed a refrigerator. Your dodge becomes clunkier and harder to recover from. Medium load is the sweet spot and offers the best balance of speed and reliability. Light load is hard to achieve since you'll be trading protection from your armor by opting for lighter clothing or no clothing at all. That's a big ask. If you're fat rolling, remove armor or increase endurance. Yes, armor matters, but dodging matters way more, because not getting hit beats eating a mouthful of steel and starting the fight over again. You'll soon discover that you still die fast even though you've turned yourself into a walking tank, except now you're less mobile. Classic Elden Ring experience. Ignore anybody who says spirit ashes or spirit summons are cheating. The game hands them to you like a Christmas gift. Use them. Spirit summons can distract bosses, deal damage, create openings, and most importantly, save your sanity. Early game favorites include lone wolves and the jellyfish. Later on, you'll get absurd summons capable of committing war crimes independently. You can also upgrade summons through Roderika at Round Table Hold. Getting her to come there, however, is a bit of a process. You need to ensure you have unlocked Round Table Hold. This hub area unlocks after your first encounter with Margit. You don't have to defeat him, but make sure to rest on a site of grace after meeting Margit, so Melina will take you to Round Table Hold. Then, you have to talk to Roderika herself while she's cowering in Stormhill Shack. That's along the Guidance of Grace path, so she's a bit hard to miss. Roderika will make a request for you to go to Stormvale Castle and tell some dead bodies that she still loves them.
What?
I know, weird girl, but in Elden Ring's context, it makes sense. It's a long path, but you don't have to do this to get Roderika to come to the Round Table Hold. You can go around Stormvale Castle using this path on its eastern walls. Keep going until you reach Liurnia of the Lakes and touch the lake-facing cliffs Site of Grace. You will trigger Roderika's relocation to the Round Table Hold because of this. Go back to the Round Table Hold and talk to her. She's by the fireplace. After that, talk to the blacksmith, Hugh, and keep passing each other's messages along like you're their personal mailman. After exhausting the dialogue between the two NPCs, rest in the Site of Grace in Round Table Hold, and go back to the blacksmith's area. You'll see Roderika open for business, ready to upgrade your spirit ashes using grave gloveworts that you can find in the Weeping Peninsula in these two dungeons marked on the map, Tombsward Catacombs and Earthbore Cave. With everything in place, the Tree Sentinel became a mere branch for us to crush, letting us move on to tougher bosses. Still, the learning process doesn't end with the first boss. There are plenty more lessons that Elden Ring doesn't teach you. For mages, the build is different, and they need to level up one additional stat. Memory stones determine your spell slots. More memory stones means more spells you can have ready at once, because otherwise, your wizard will be a flunky at wizard college who only knows a couple of spells. To get more memory stones, the closest one is in the Weeping Peninsula. From the Gatefront ruins, head southeast, cross the bridge, and keep following the road south after the bridge. You'll cross another bridge, ignore the enemies, and keep going south until you reach the Castle Morn Rampart Site of Grace with a merchant nearby. Near this grace, look for the Spirit Spring. This lets you jump high using Torrent. Use it to jump to the adjacent cliff. On this cliff, you'll find a locked small tower called Oridus' Rise. You'll have to find and slay 3 spirit turtles around the tower to unlock it. Here are their locations. After killing the turtles like a bad pet owner and opening the door to the tower, climb up to the top and loot the memory stone. For more memory stones, you'll find them as you progress through Liurnia of the Lakes, and developers even tied a couple of them into the main story, so don't worry about missing those. Once you've beaten Godric, the major boss right after Margit, Elden Ring will reward you with your first Great Rune. Cool. These Great Runes provide bonuses, like Talismans, except it doesn't work yet. This game is teasing you. To get the Great Rune to work, you must activate it at the top of the Divine Towers. You'll find these towers in a circular arrangement in the middle of the lands between, and you can even see some of them over the horizon. One of them is attached to Stormvale Castle, and you can access it as soon as you defeat Godric the Grafted. Once you've unlocked these towers, equip the Great Rune at a Site of Grace. Then, use Rune Arcs to activate the Great Rune and receive its bonuses. You can obtain Rune's Arcs from the Twin Maiden Husks in one of the rooms in the Round Table Hold. You'll then find other Rune Arcs as you progress. However, you'll want to limit your Great Rune's usage. That's because they deactivate if you die. That means you have to spend another Rune Arc to reactivate them, and Rune Arcs tend to be uncommon and finite. Elden Ring's developers explain this system with the clarity of ancient cave drawings, but Great Runes can help you in a pinch. It's best to save them for difficult boss fights or tough kill zone areas. Godric's Great Rune is fantastic early because it boosts all attributes by 5 points as long as it's active. If you wander into the southwestern Weeping Peninsula, you're going to see something that makes you stop. A massive stone structure with legs. Those are walking mausoleums, and these walking mausoleums let you duplicate remembrances from major bosses like Godric or Rennala, meaning you can claim both boss rewards from Enya in Round Table Hold instead of choosing one. But first, you have to make these walking mausoleums sit. To bring them down, attack the white skull growths on their legs. Once they settle down, be careful not to stay below them, or you'll end up like a pancake. You can enter their door afterward to find a coffin that duplicates remembrances. I don't advise duplicating any remembrance on a whim, by the way. These walking mausoleums are rare. There are only 7 of them in total. That's why you need to be wise about which remembrances to duplicate. Another secret the game doesn't explain: illusory walls. You'll want to hit suspicious walls like they owe you money. I'm serious. Some walls in the Elden Ring are fake or illusions, hence they disappear when you strike them, opening a path to hidden chests or shortcuts. As a Souls game player, I have developed terminal trust issues because of this mechanic. You will learn to hit random walls without provocation and get psychologically destroyed when the wall is in fact real and not a fake one. Sometimes there is treasure behind the wall. Other times, it must have been the wind. Welcome to Souls games. Final tip: Elden Ring is about learning and adapting. The terrifying monster that killed you 18 times has patterns, and eventually, you'll feel something magical. The impossible boss now feels manageable. You find that the combat now clicks for you. Before you know it, you're the person advising new players while wearing armor made from dead gods and arguing about lore online at 2 a.m. That's the Elden Ring pipeline. You'll get there. Good luck, Tarnished. Elden Ring can be overwhelming, but you can cut through the chaos fast with a little knowledge. Take your time and explore off the beaten path. This video took a long time to make, and if it gave you a useful footing or the confidence to jump in, a like or comment goes a long way. It helps a lot. Also, subscribe if you want more guides, builds, tier lists, and the occasional descent into Elden Ring madness. This was Hawk Live Gaming. See you in the next one.